Buy Black for Life. Buy Black for Life. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are. And I say good evening because I know my son is in Japan and it's evening. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are. Buy Black for Life. Come on in. It is that day of the week. It is Education Saturday. And we are continuing in this month of financial literacy. Just come on in. My name is Jerome Hurt, founder of Buy Black for Life. I am so excited for what we have today. So many of our group members have asked for this. So I picked two dope people that I know to be able to join us this afternoon, this morning, this evening, again, no matter where you are, because we're in 99 countries throughout the world. So no matter where you are, come on in. And we're just going to do a quick icebreaker, right? And the quick icebreaker is, let me think. And I'm going to also ask my panelists this question, right? Um, what influenced you to create your own business? Put that in the chat. So if you're here right now, what influenced you to create your own business? Now, before I do that, before I get to my panelists to ask that question, I'm going to read their amazing bios because I'm so thankful for each of them being here. I'm going to start with Jacqueline. Jacqueline is CEO and founder of A Balanced View Bookkeeping and has 25 years of dedicated, detail oriented accounting accounting professional. Excuse me. Jacqueline has a passion for helping small businesses and individuals manage and grow their financial well-being. With a strong accounting and finance background, Jacqueline provides clients with expert advice, professionalism, peace of mind, and a balanced view on their finances. Jacqueline holds a Bachelor of Science in Accounting and Master's degree in Accounting and Financial Management. In her spare time, get this, folks, in her spare time, she enjoys riding her motorcycle and upcycling do-it-yourself projects. Buy Black for Life.
Yes.
I welcome Jacqueline Jackson.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you for being here. And I call him Kenny O. This young man
That's
is,
right.
I mean, me and him, like, we've had conversations like, man, like, I'm talking to my son. That's when you mentor somebody and you have conversations about life. This young man, Kenny O, is a finance and business specialist in Queens. Queens is in the house. He
Amen.
graduated in
Represent.
2019 with a bachelor's degree in accounting and is currently an operations manager at Avis Budget Group. And I know that because, man, we've rapped about this. In pursuit of his long-term goal to break into entrepreneurship, Kenny launched his own company in 2020, Precision Tax Firm, with one goal in mind: create generational wealth. Buy Black for Life, my man Kenny O. Kenny, welcome,
Thank you.
brother.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you for being here. And Jacqueline, I'm just going to ask you first that icebreaker.
Mhm.
What is it that made you um, become a entrepreneur and do your own thing in this chosen field?
So, of course, my background is in accounting. However, I know a lot of times when you're working for a company, you are doing the same thing over and over every single day. But with freelance bookkeeping, I change jobs and employees on a weekly basis. And so it also allows me freedom, flexibility, and a work life balance. And so one of the things that I remember I was visiting a friend, and it was the middle of the day, and I was having a really rough day at work. And so we just started talking because she had decided to become an entrepreneur as well. And so she lit the fire underneath me. And so that very next day, I created my business. I came up with the name, I got it registered for the state. And one of the things I always say is if I'm going to carry some heavy weight, it should be my own. And I have been increasing everybody else's bottom line, and I need to be increasing my own bottom line, right? And at
Amen.
the
Yeah.
same time, because I enjoy helping small businesses, allowing them to focus on what they do, and that's growing their business. And just for me, making sure that they're financially stable in order to grow.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, and I'm sure that what you're saying is really going to hit so many people
Yeah.
who are watching. And if you're watching now, just hashtag where you're from. If you watch on replay, do hashtag replay and where you are from. And same thing for you, Kenny. What has you moving into that entrepreneurial space?
So mine is much like Jacqueline's. It's pretty much more the same. But I will say this much: there's power in ownership.
Mhm.
So for me, that was what was most important. And when I sit here and I talk to my younger sisters, and my niece, I look at them as the next upcoming, like after me, they're gonna be next. They're gonna,
Right, right,
they're gonna be the generation, and I have to bring them up. So
right.
I hold a huge responsibility of making sure that I see that through. And one
Mm,
of the things that I always preach when it comes to generational wealth is having ownership.
Right.
Ownership in everything, right? And don't give that up to anyone.
Yep.
So I definitely that was what inspired me to pretty much start my own company. It was ownership, and it was seeing that if you want to be part of the 1%, you're gonna have to do what the 99% isn't willing to do,
right,
Right.
right?
right.
And that's ownership. So that's where I got my my mentality from. So yeah, that's what inspired me to open find precision tax firm.
I love it. Thank you, young brother.
Yeah.
And just so Jacqueline knows, right? Because we had this conversation a bit offline. Charlotte, North Carolina is already in here, so I'm just gonna put that out
Come on,
there. Just
Oh
Atlanta.
man.
let's jump right into it. Now, I know it's a busy time, tax time, Jacqueline, right now. Um, what services should business owners not only utilize with you right now, but even after tax season is over? What should our business owners be looking for when they are hiring someone like you?
So for me, what I provide is bookkeeping services. And it's like I said, we are targeting the individuals who side hustle is now turning into a profitable business, right? So you need to be able to track your income, be able to track your expenses, and know what your profit and loss is on a monthly basis. And so those are the services that we're looking to provide, and also business consulting. So, on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis, we'll take a look at your
Yes.
business performance and then make some suggestions how we can increase your profits and decrease
Yep.
your expenses. And also, again, with these side hustles turning into profitable businesses, have you reached out to the Secretary of State and determined what business formation is best for your business? Well, whether
Mhm.
it's an S corporation or an LLC. So those are the services that we provide year round to all of our small businesses and individuals. And we're really specifically looking at those individuals who are in the service industry, whether you're a hairstylist, a barber, you're doing ride share, and of course, the newest business that's coming out of the pandemic, it's called COVID-19. COVID-19, I can't think of the last name, but basically the individuals who are providing PPE. So,
Ah, okay.
yeah.
Yes.
And so one
So
of those
people
things,
that, for example, are making masks and things like
yes.
that? Really?
Yes,
Okay.
for people who are making masks, Because what I found out what happened is during this pandemic, they didn't have their paperwork in order, so of course they couldn't apply for the PPP loans, right? And so
Right.
even though we're getting through that pandemic, it's lessons learned about what we need to do next.
Right.
So we need to make sure that everything is in order because at the end of the year, I know a lot of times we're afraid to file taxes because we think that we owe, but there's so many tax deductions that you can get from filing your taxes,
Yes,
right? And
absolutely.
so those are things, and we want to make sure that they're setting themselves up for the future. And
Right.
so in the event that we have something like this that happens again, we'll already be prepared. And then, of course, when you're looking to potentially lease or buy that retail space, you've got to be able to prove your income or that
Yeah.
next big ticket item that you're looking to buy, whether it's a house or maybe a car.
Right.
Yep.
Awesome.
Mm.
Awesome.
Yep.
Kenny, anything on top of that you want to add?
Oh yes, yes, Jacqueline, you just preached my language.
Yeah.
You're like a minister right now, and I love that. You know, bookkeeping. The reason why bookkeeping is so important is because it serves as a prerequisite, like it's a prequel to taxes. Like it is
Yes.
so important, right?
Yes.
And Jacqueline, like, and that's the reason why I love everything that you said because that sets you up, right? Like having the
Yes.
proper bookkeeping process in place
Right.
really sets you up financially for the future. So
Yes.
which means if you're looking at I'm sorry, your income, and you're saying, hey, listen, I'm going to owe a lot, right?
Yep.
There's actually a lot that bookkeeping can do for you in terms of minimizing
Tax,
your
tax
taxes,
Your
your
tax.
liability.
income,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
right,
Tax
right, and
liability.
Right.
right,
Right.
exactly,
Yep.
tax liability, right.
Yep.
There's a lot it could do for you, right? So having those processes in place will really, really, really help you
Yes.
along the way.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Listen, I'm gonna skip some of these other questions. You know why? Because I think both of you have already touched on some of the
Yeah.
things that our business owners in this group have
Hmm.
asked. And
Hmm.
Jacqueline, I think you touched on it a little bit, where someone asked, when having 4 small businesses under one umbrella, should I get an LLC for each one or DBA for tax purposes? So they have
So,
4 businesses.
right.
They want to know, how should they basically categorize those businesses.
So, you know what? I can't give a specific answer on that because it really all depends on
Yeah.
what your structure is.
Amen.
But
Got it.
I will tell you this though. Setting up an LLC is a great way. However, you want to make sure that you're taxed as an S corporation. So I can give you that little tidbit of information, but I think that really to be able to look at your businesses and us coming up deciding which structure we could, that was probably going to be something that's going to take a lot of more detailed time. But just when you're looking at it, LLC is always a great way to go. However, you want to make sure that you're taxed at an S corporation.
Got it.
Yeah.
Kenny, anything on top of that?
Oh no, I definitely agree.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of people make this common mistake where after opening up a business, they don't know exactly what comes with it. LLC, you know, LLC's is a business that it's a type of business that I uh brought my business up in,
Hmm.
and it's a single designated entity, which means
Hmm.
that from my I get to record that as a personal income on my
Yes.
taxes, right?
Yep.
Right.
And then I wouldn't really have to worry about paying being double taxed,
Right.
and it's like that's such a game changer, really,
Yep.
Right.
when it comes to an LLC or an S corporation or anything like that. It's the tax benefits,
Yep.
and if you can get that right,
Yep.
right, you're really, really, really beat the odds,
Yes.
man. Like if you can
Yes.
get that right, it's a game changer.
Yes.
So so what I'm hearing from both of you, which I love, because I'm, as a financial professional, I'm always getting the question, well, for me, how should I invest? And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. I'm
Mhm.
not going to answer that question because there's so much
Right.
more I need
Right,
to hear
right,
from you.
Exactly.
right.
Amen.
And to be
Yep.
honest with you, I've told people, and this is in all honesty, if you ask an investment professional that question and they answer it, run.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yep.
they are probably looking at the thing that's either going to pay them the highest commission.
Yes.
They're not paying attention to what your risk is, what
Yes.
your
Yeah.
finances look like. They're not. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing with business. So I like the
Yeah.
correlation with
Yeah.
respect to that. So thank you both for that. Kenny, I'm going to ask this question of you that one of our business owners asks. They want to know what's the best bookkeeping software.
So
I love this. So I'm scared of
well,
this answer right
well,
now.
well, see, this is where I think some disagreements are gonna come in. And I
Yes.
and I
Okay.
really love that. You know why I love that? Because I feel like they'll get all sides here and
Hmm.
all types of different perspectives.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So for me personally, I use QuickBooks.
Okay.
I use Quick. See, there you go, there you go. See,
No,
I
but
knew
like
it,
you said,
I
this is
knew it. Yeah,
good.
this
We're,
is this is
we're
gonna
gonna give
ruffle a few
perspective.
feathers here,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
but but I use QuickBooks, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And the reason I use QuickBooks, I've been using it for years, right? And it works well for me, right?
Okay.
And you know what? Some of it might have to do with the fact that I'm stubborn because I don't want to switch gears and I don't want to, yeah, a little bit, man, a little bit. When it comes to these things, man, I'm kind of an old man, so yeah, seriously, I
He
don't
is an
like too
old
much
soul, Jacqueline.
change,
Just so
right?
you know, for a young kid,
So
he is an old
yeah,
soul.
exactly. So for me, and I'm a little bit biased, but I would
Right.
say that QuickBooks is the best tax software.
Okay. Jacqueline
Yeah,
almost fell out her chair
vehemently disagrees. Yeah,
when you said
that's
that.
like
So
see
Wow.
see see. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Before you go, Jacqueline, see, Jerome, please. This is like me picking the 72 Bulls, man. I'm sorry, the 92 Bulls. The
92
92 Bulls.
Bulls.
This is like me picking the
No, no.
92 Bulls as the greatest team of all time on a video game. Okay?
What?
So like it's so like yes, that's how crazy it is right now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
me picking
So,
QuickBooks, that's exactly the
okay.
I
palpable
love
comparison
the
there.
we're about to start something. So go
Yeah.
ahead,
Yep.
Jacqueline.
So I will disagree with you on the Bulls because I say that
Oh.
the Magic Johnson LA Lakers is the greatest basketball of all
Oh.
time.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm
So
so sorry. So
Kenny
biased.
knows. Kenny knows that I think the greatest basketball player I've ever seen is Magic Johnson,
Yes.
and I hated the
Yes.
Lakers. Right? He is for me.
Yes.
For me,
I
the
see.
great. I'm not arguing anybody else's thing, but for me, Magic Johnson, rookie
Yes.
year, most valuable player in the championship, playing all 5 positions. No one's
Yeah,
done that.
man.
Go ahead, Jacqueline.
Yes, I will tell you. I just briefly, I remember when I was a kid, I used to couldn't wait to see the NBA playoffs every single year just to see Magic
Mhm.
Johnson. So,
Vote
just
for me.
saying. Yes. So for me, I will say for some of my established clients, yes, we do utilize QuickBooks. However, QuickBooks was not created in the cloud, right? And so, software has since it's cloud based now. So, one of the ones that I like to use for my individual clients and then those who've never used a software platform before is Zero. So Zero, it's new to the US. However, it's not far behind QuickBooks. And so what Zero is, it's really designed with the small business in mind or individuals, right? Because the words are written in simple form where instead of it saying accounts payable, accounts receivable, it says invoices and bills that you need to pay. It's got all different kinds of graphics where individuals don't have to have an accounting degree to be able to understand. And then it allows
Okay.
you to visualize your money versus looking at numbers, right?
I
And
see.
it has a mobile app for my clients on the go. So my hairstylists, my barbers, my ride shares, you can literally just take a picture of your receipts and that information automatically transmits into your client file in my system. And
Wow.
so all I have to do is you give me a read-only view of your bank statement, and I can do a bank reconciliation or accounts reconciliation at the end of the month. And then I can email you your income statement, and the PDF file is editable. And so if there's something missing or I'm not quite sure what this expense is, you can provide comments and then you can email it right back to me.
Wow.
Right. And then there's a couple other features, right? So you can do like online invoicing. There is a pay now button. You can set up like reoccurring auto pay for repeat customers. And I will tell you, it is a lot cheaper to use than QuickBooks. So
So it sounds so. And Kenny, I love you, brother, but I think she's killing you right now.
I mean, listen. Look, there's nothing that Zero can do that QuickBooks can't do. But I will agree with you on this
okay.
fact, and it is a fact that I cannot dispute. It is that, Zero is made for, the everyday person
Yes.
that doesn't
Yeah, it
need,
sounds like
because
bookkeeping 101.
right,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Because,
Yep.
Jacqueline, we both come from, accounting, so it,
Hmm.
like using QuickBooks will be like a cakewalk for us, right?
You're right.
Um,
Right.
but a lot of people out there, they don't really care about, accounts receivable, accounts payable.
Right.
They don't really care about that because
Right.
they see that and then they start, like, if they have to Google what something means on
Yeah.
QuickBooks, that's a problem. That's a
Yes.
problem. So
Yes.
yeah, no, like like, I cannot dispute that, and for
Yep.
that reason alone, um, yeah, like I would, damn, I gotta give it to Zero, man. I mean, I can't. I mean, I'm a realist at the end of the day, so like
Yes, you
I
are.
gotta call it
Yeah.
like I see it.
Yes.
Yep.
So yeah.
So I'm going to add to that because someone said, "What software program do you recommend for small business with not a lot of products to integrate with their website?"
Ooh,
Hmm.
oh man, to integrate with the website,
Yes. They
because
said
see,
they
here's
do
the
not have a lot of products.
right. Because I do know for a fact that when I made my website, when I created my website,
Mm-hmm.
QuickBooks, Quicken Loans, and so many other softwares. I think Zero was one of them also,
Yep.
was connected to, one of the subsidiary, like one of the companies that were associated with the company I was creating my website on,
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So you automatically had that based upon the website that you.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
So for me, right, I'll use my process as an example. I created my website on Wix, right? So
Okay.
Wix has a lot of, uh uh bookkeeping softwares that you can literally connect to your own website, right?
Got
So let's say somebody pays for a service
Yep.
on your website, right? It will then record that on QuickBooks and automatically, discern that information and then, allocate it to whatever account it needs to be allocated to.
Gotcha.
So it is a really, really cool way, and that's what I mean by when I say that I'm stubborn, that I don't want to change, you know, my process is that it, like, my website does all of this for me,
Right.
right?
Yep.
And all I just have to do is go into QuickBooks and, assess it, make sure that, the accounts that it's going into are right, and just kind of, discern that information for myself. So yeah, like that's one of the ideas. Like, it depends on which website you're using, but the
Yes.
website that you're using to create your own website,
Mhm.
right, should have something in there that, is able to help you out with that.
And
Yeah.
I have a member that said, I like that Zero makes it clear. I'm going to
Yes.
look into it because
Yeah.
QuickBooks have me lost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Wow.
would I would
Yeah.
say
Wow.
yeah. That's one thing. That's one knock I would have against QuickBooks is that if you're not an accountant or a bookkeeper, or a professional, or financial professional, you probably won't understand most of the terms they're using. Like they use like chart of accounts,
Yes.
Bro,
and
I'm a
things like
financial
that to like.
professional and I don't understand it all. So stop. Get out of here with that. No, I've been in the business 32 years and I look at that
Wow.
stuff and it looks
Yeah.
like womp, womp,
Yeah.
womp, womp to
Yeah.
me. So what are
Uh-huh.
you talking
Yep.
about?
Oh
So,
man.
zero, Jacqueline.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow. So you just schooled me on
Yep.
something and
Yep.
that
She
will
schooled
be
me too, man. Hey, listen,
But
listen.
that's what this is all about, learning what
Yeah.
each other is using and figuring out how we
Yeah.
can collaborate to make our
Yeah.
business growing better for everyone. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
and that's and you hit on you use the most important word when it comes to buy black for life. We are about collaboration, not
Mhm.
competition,
Mhm.
Yep.
Right.
because and that's why this community was created, and that's
Yeah.
why we have professionals like each of you here, because our community, it's a literacy gap that we have,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yes.
And we're trying, if we're going to close the generational gap, we have to close the literacy gap. And that's why, and Kenny, I've been from day one you met me, I've been talking
Yeah.
about,
Yep.
the financial piece to so
Yep.
many people.
Oh yeah.
Even, I will say to some people, do you have a 401k?
Okay.
No. Why? Like, seriously,
You
why?
know,
Well, I don't know. No. Let me,
exactly.
Right.
and he'll
Exactly.
tell you,
Exactly.
I will stay and just, there's work that needs to be done. I don't care. I'm going to pour into somebody
Yes.
because it's so vital for the
Yeah.
health and wealth of
Yep.
our community. So,
Yes.
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
what you're bringing is powerful. So,
Yes.
I have another question. Um, and I thought this question was interesting. This person asks how to add children to a small business as employees, and what are the pros and cons of doing this and how it helps the business. Jacqueline, I'll start with you on that one.
So the only con I can think of for having family members a part of your business is sometimes they are late or just don't show up for work at all.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yep.
those are the only cons that I can really think of, but the pros far outweigh those, you know? So I feel like for my children, it's a greater incentive for them to work, right? Because they now have a stake in the business.
Yep.
And so they're also helping create generational wealth and a legacy for us,
Yes.
not just for me, but for them and their children to come. So, and I feel like, because they they're willing to sacrifice for the building because the business, because they're now a stakeholder, right? And so I think because, and it also, it's a shorter learning curve, I think, for me, because like for me, this is the only job that accounting is the only thing I've ever done. I took my first accounting class when I was 17 years old in high school.
Wow.
So there's nothing else that I know. And my kids know that I am on it when it comes to our finances. Like when like I go in and balance my account almost if it's not daily, at least weekly, because a lot of people think, well, I know I've got $50 here in my account, but you swiped it for 10, but the charge didn't show up on the bank statement yet. So you still think that you've got $50 left in that account when you really only got $40 left in that account.
Mhm.
So that kind of financial literacy that I'm pouring into them, I'd rather pour it into them and make sure that they're financially sound for the future. So
Yeah.
I think that is, for me, that is the greatest benefit that I can get for integrating my family into the business.
Awesome. Kenny,
Yep.
your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it goes back to the generational wealth, man.
Yep.
And I tell you, man, that is so powerful. It is so
Yes.
powerful, man. Like I preach that because Rome, I got it from you. I got it from you, from talking to you all those all those times we talked,
Kenny
man,
would always listen.
you know,
Like he was a student.
yeah, I
I
Even
love
if
it.
even if
yeah,
I wasn't, and what was amazing is even if I wasn't talking to Kenny, he was listening.
Listening.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
so,
yeah.
Kenny, listen, I love you, brother. You already know, man,
Me too, bro.
and I'm I'm gonna keep pouring into you, man, until God says, okay, it's time to rest your head, because I just love the man that you are growing into and becoming. So I need to put that out there.
Thank you
That's
so
But
so
much.
awesome.
Thank you.
I I I, I love what you had said earlier because and both of you were touching on this, right? You're talking about the generation to come.
Yeah,
Jacqueline, you're talking about your children, right?
Mhm.
And Kenny, you're talking about your nieces and nephews and all that we do is if they could see it, they could be it,
yeah,
Yes.
right?
absolutely.
Yes.
So as I'm pouring into Kenny, Kenny's pouring into others, right?
Yes.
And I've always said to him, I'm like, no matter what you do, the only
Yeah,
thing I want from you is what I'm
yeah,
giving to you. I want you to give
yeah,
to others.
Yes.
yeah,
Pay it forward.
yep.
Pay it
Pay it forward.
forward. Don't
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
listen. God didn't give us
Yeah,
this so we could do like
Right.
this and hold on to it. He gave
Right.
exactly.
us so
Right.
we
Yeah,
could. So, man, this conversation we could go on forever.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I love it. The synergy is just absolutely amazing. So, I'm gonna ask another question. Why should a business owner, Jacqueline, utilize your services? Why should they utilize your services instead of trying to do it on their own?
So, for I think for a business owner that they really need to focus on what they do best and whatever line of business they're in, that's what they need to focus on and ensuring that they're making profits and they're growing their business, right? So by allowing us to come in, we're going to, if you need your books cleaned up, we're going to do that, and then moving forward we're going to manage your business for you, and then we're going to provide a snapshot for you on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis, depending on what your business needs, to show you where you're where how much income you have coming in, what your expenses are, and what your profits are. And then, of course, when you have somebody on the outside look, when you're so in the business in every aspect, there's so
Right.
many things that you may miss, right? So by outsourcing that financial piece to me, I'm going to be able to take a holistic look of your business overall and make some great recommendations on how you can increase your profits. So I think that, again, because I just enjoy helping the small business and individuals to make
Yeah.
sure that you're financially prepared for the future.
Awesome. Kenny, your thoughts on that?
Right. We're in the service industry, right?
Yep.
And, everything we do is, predicated on, helping out people and,
Yep.
and seeing things through. So, um, why should you, why should you go after my service instead of other people's service? Let's put it this way.
No, not necessarily others, because again,
Just
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
again,
Right. Why should you
we're
come to me, right?
why
Yeah.
instead of me doing Kenny, instead of
All
me
right.
doing
Instead
it
of
on
you
my
doing
own.
it yourself.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yeah.
Okay. I see. Okay. Well, let's put it this way. Even the problems that you don't know how to fix, right? Because if you do it yourself, there are limits, right? There
Mhm.
are going to be limits of where you have questions, where you need. If you have any tax situation that you're in, anything at all, you put it on my lap and I'll get rid of it for you, right? Like I don't know what more that you can put out there, right?
Right.
Than that statement, and it sticks, and it's like, okay, I'm okay with this because it gives you one, it gives you peace of mind, right? And
Mhm.
two, I do have a team of lawyers readily available during the peak hours this throughout this whole tax season, where they have where clients have disputes with the IRS, you know, and this constant changes of tax laws,
Mhm.
Yes.
where we had the
Yeah.
$10,200 of unemployment waived,
Gotcha.
you know, where
Yes.
people were thinking about filing amended returns and things like that. People were freaking out,
Well,
Yep.
they
over
really,
this, right?
Yep.
wow.
And
They are.
rightfully so, right?
Mhm.
So my business provides, P-Tax firm provides peace of mind. Okay. And during this tax season where you don't even know what's happening, you
Yep.
don't even know what's going on. You're not really listening to the news because you're paying guys like me to do it, right?
Yeah.
you're,
Right,
you're
right.
paying guys like me to do it. You're paying guys like me to say, hey, listen, you owe $2,000, but you only have to pay $200 of that because guess what? I found you something, right?
Yep.
And for a lot of my clients, they have gotten, a huge tax breaks, and this year just because let's keep it real, they went with me. They went with the P-Tax firm. So I'm very, very, very fortunate to be able to get all of that done this tax year. And listen, next year is just going up, man.
Yep.
It's just going up. So I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait.
And I want to say this for both of you, right? And Jacqueline as well as Kenny, my platform is yours. So you
Thank
need
you.
me, right? You got me to
Thank
be able
you.
to put you guys on Front Street so that you can wake some folks up. And that is the next thing that I want to ask is what challenges do you find um, when you are working with clients or in particular our small businesses? What challenges
Mm.
are you finding? Either one of you, please.
So just briefly for me, I think the challenges is that, they think that they can do it all, right?
Mm.
And and you can't do it all. And
Right.
so sometimes some of the challenges I have is, well, can we negotiate? No, you should not negotiate the profitability of your business, right?
Right.
And
Right,
so and I specialize in that, and I am going to provide you a balanced view on your finances. So I think that's it. You just having to be able to let go
yeah,
and let somebody support you and ensuring that y- you just going to be focusing only on what you know how to do best, and that's growing your business. So I think that's it. Is just a lot of people just don't want to let go because it's their baby, and so they want to be
Mm.
able to touch every aspect of that business. I mean, the
right,
same thing for me. There are things that I have to let go as well because I don't specialize in certain things. So I kind of stick to what I know to make sure that we're all profitable.
right, right. I love that. Kenny,
Yeah.
how about you, bro?
You,
Any
you know that yes, there's a really, really cool saying that goes, in a negotiation, the last person to talk loses,
Yeah.
right? And if you buy into that negotiation, you'll definitely lose, right?
Yep.
so I thought it was
So
the first person
what
The
that
first.
talks.
the last person that says deal, right? You're really like you're giving into that deal, right?
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So yeah, so trust me,
I
you
put
lose.
contracts in front of people and just
Hmm.
stared at them, stared
Yeah.
at the numbers, stared at them, waiting for because
You're waiting
I'm
for them
not
to
blinking.
break.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
the numbers
Exactly.
are what they say. And if you
Yep.
want this right here,
Yeah.
there it is
Yep.
right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep. Hey, listen, and in most cases, yes, the first person to talk is usually the last person to talk to, right? Because, but anyway, we're not even going to get into negotiation. Okay. We're not going to get into negotiation because that's a whole nother topic for another day. Okay. Um, but Rome, okay, what was the question again?
what challenges
Okay.
I love this.
All
What
right.
challenges do you find in working with small business owner?
Okay.
Woo! As a
So
tax professional? Mm.
yeah, yeah. There are quite a few. So there's lots of challenges as a tax professional, right? Like, they have these questions of where, they ask, oh man, like, why am I owing this much? Or they don't understand the nuances of why they owe that much, right? Because they're making so much, in the business world. But tax favors, the owners, right? So if you have a if you if you're an owner, right, and you have your expenses, nearly pretty much all of your expenses, that are dedicated to your business, you can write off
Right.
at some
Mm-hmm.
point, right?
Right.
Which is a premium. But if you're also making, lots of money, right, and you haven't paid your taxes in a year, and you're only annually paying your taxes, and
Right.
you're not filing your taxes quarterly or semi-annually, right? Of course you're going to have to pay one lump sum. So the challenges are that some businesses don't understand exactly why the things are the way they are when it comes to taxes. And there's a lot it has a lot to do with the information too, right? So having tax planning, that's number one, right? Tax planning is so important
Right.
because you're not ending up paying $10,000, right, at the end of the year, because you didn't pay quarterly.
Right.
You didn't
Right.
pay your taxes quarterly. You're only getting hit with that lump sum money at the end of the year. So it's very important. I think the tax planning is definitely the most vital and the hardest part of of taxes, because getting businesses to break that cycle, right,
Well, that's
in
because
terms of
I think that and again, it comes back to literacy. They
Yep.
think
yes,
of
Fine.
their
yes,
personal
exactly, yep,
as the same as their business. And
business,
Yes.
let's be
right,
honest, that's
yeah,
two different animals. That
hmm,
looks totally
absolutely, yeah.
different.
There
And
should be a
and
separation of church and state. Absolutely, man. Keep
yes,
Yes.
those two things separate.
you
Yep.
Yep.
have to. You have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because listen, when the IRS comes knocking, right, they're gonna want to see a separation there. Okay.
Yep.
Those two, there better be two bank accounts, one for your personal and one for
One.
your business, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, like that's it, finding, like business owners, finding business owners that break that cycle, is very hard to do. It's very
Right.
rare, right? But
Right.
a lot of them do it because for the bottom line of their business, right, it's imperative that they do it, right? So breaking that cycle of paying annually, right, like that, it's really it's almost like paying a bill,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like like
Yeah.
paying a bill. You just use, like, look at
And
it like
you're
that. You're
paying it
paying a bill,
quarterly.
right?
Quarterly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Quarterly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. That's the
Yes.
thing.
So yeah.
Man, this conversation is so informative, and again, even a financial professional like myself, right? I can sit and talk to you all day you want to about
Right.
investments, but this
Yeah.
part, and I'll give it up. I say to people, well, taxes, that's not my area of expertise,
Expertise.
and I can tell you how your taxes will be affected if you
Right.
take out of your investment. That
Right.
I'm trained on.
Right.
But other than that, no, you don't have me. Jacqueline, you've been, operating your business for 25 years.
Mhm.
How did you have to shift, if you did, when we were in a pandemic?
Ooh, okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will tell you, I think for me, it actually increased business because um
Yeah.
people started to turn, like I said, turn those side hustles into profitable businesses. And then we started to see the groups, like Buy Black for Life or Black Business Connection,
Right.
where we were actually supporting one another. And
Yeah.
so I think that that
Mhm.
really, for me, was just a great incentive to again continue to be a part of these groups and be a part of these discussions, because we're now those little side hustles that we had going on every now and then. I have seen where they are now making so much money and are so profitable. And I think that's amazing
It's a
because
blessing.
it's a
Yeah.
blessing. And the reason why is because, a lot of times we get hung up on those established brands, right? And I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
this pandemic has showed us that we as Black people, we can be on the same level playing field as those
Oh yeah.
established brands. Our products are just as good or even better
Even
than
better.
those, or even better. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think for
Absolutely.
me, I one of the things I said that come, from the beginning of the pandemic, and as we're hopefully seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, we need to come out better than where we
Oh
began. And
yeah.
I can
Oh
see
yeah.
a lot of us coming out better. I mean, I will tell you, because of the online shopping and not being able to go to the store, I have found so many great Black businesses out there that I
I
utilize,
love it.
from buying my soaps to
Yes.
candles to jewelry to everything, clothing, anything you can think of that I can get from an established brand or those big box stores. I am buying from our own, right within our community.
I love it.
So,
I
yep.
love it. I'll say this. I started this group on June 6th
Hmm.
and of 2020.
Hmm.
What it's become, I never saw.
Yep.
Right? It's God who I didn't manifest this. It's God. I'm gonna be perfectly clear about that. I wish I could give everyone a snapshot of what's behind the scenes and what our people do. It will blow your mind.
Hmm.
Because I came in with a bias of, well, there are certain things we won't be able to do. Not anymore. No,
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
we are dope in everything. There is a guy in
Absolutely.
Atlanta, Jacqueline,
Hmm.
who is part of this group that if you run out of gas, he'll bring a truck to you to gas up your car.
See?
How dope is
That
that?
is so dope.
There are two Black women in Florida who now have 3 gas stations.
Wow.
They
Wow.
own these gas stations. How dope are we as Black
Yes.
people? So
Yes.
I'm no longer that thought of we can't do. That's gone from me because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the
Hmm.
amazingness of our
Mhm.
people. And just as much as I facilitate this group with my other admins, I'm a customer. As you can, like,
Yes.
here we
Yes.
Yeah.
go. I
Yeah.
Yes.
got the sneakers, I got
Yeah.
pants. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
everything by Black.
Everything.
So,
Yes.
yes. Kenny, how about you? So, you started in
Right. In the
2020
yeah, I
in
started in the
the
pandemic.
pandemic.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
how
And
how was that?
yeah. I mean, listen, if you look at it on paper, right, that's really not a good business plan, right? 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 It's really not a good business plan. But I'll tell you this much, bro. Like, it's been so eye-opening. Like the experiences that I've had this
Yeah,
past year
yeah.
has been so
I love it.
eye-opening. And you know, I never thought, my business would grow to where, it is today. Like, I thought at the very least I'd have like 20 clients, like I have, to date right now, I almost have over 100 clients.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
like it is. And you know what the beauty of it is? It's just word of mouth.
Yeah.
It's just word of mouth, uplifting a brother, that came from the hood, humble beginnings, never,
Right,
really had
right,
anything given to him.
right,
Everything was earned,
right,
right?
right.
And to see where my business is today, I like, this didn't happen by, like, I didn't do it myself.
Yeah,
It was because
yeah,
of people like, you guys that, uplifted me and inspired me to,
yeah.
to put forth, and even just go there and just open my own, business. But I will say this.
You gonna make me cry, bro.
And you are, and
Bruh,
people
like
who make you
serious.
be great, because
Yeah,
you're
Yeah,
great. Be great.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah,
man.
Yes.
absolutely.
I'm so proud of you, bro. Man. I saw it. It was him and your boy Ricardo. That's
Yeah,
another one, right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
when I see amazingness, I gravitate over to them because what I got, they're gonna need, and I
Hmm.
know it. And
Absolutely.
like
Absolutely.
even when Kenny left, Kenny stayed up with
Yep.
me, right?
Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
Man, and I can't wait till
Yeah.
we get out of this pandemic so we can just get up,
Yeah.
dab
Yes.
each other,
Hang
and
out,
Yes.
man. Yo,
and
yeah.
I have this
Yes.
Absolutely.
dream, right? I have this dream that Thanksgiving, I'm gonna be able to get a stadium for us to do a Thanksgiving dinner by Black
Wow.
Awesome.
Thanksgiving, right?
Wow.
It's
Manifest it.
Man.
I
Speak it
mean,
into
Yep.
existence.
I'm so serious. People are like, you
Absolutely.
are insane. Yep. I
Yo,
am.
Yep.
wrong. We are in there, bro. We're in there,
Yes.
bro.
Speak it
We
into
in there.
existence.
I
We
want
in
that
there.
so
Come on,
bad
man.
because,
Yes.
as beings, right, we are meant to fellowship in the presence
Yes.
of each other.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
to
Eh,
see you, Kenny, and Jacqueline, like, you
Yeah,
are fire. And by Black for Life,
yeah.
let me just say this. And just to tease her, I'm gonna put that video up again when it was Women's History Month. Jacqueline was doing her thing in her video, and I hate her back. Yeah, this is not the way it was supposed to be
Right.
done, but I'm good. So we have amazingness before us, and just so you both know, Black excellence looks like the two of you.
Yes. Thank you.
Black
Man,
excellence is the two of you, and
thank you,
I
man.
I thank you both. And
Seriously.
I'm gonna ask my signature question as we get close to the end.
Yeah.
And Jacqueline, sister, I'm gonna start with you.
All right.
What does "buy black" mean to you?
Ooh, that is a really great question. So for me, buy black means that we are helping build up relationships and boost community morale. You know, I think for us as Black people, we spend about 4% more annually than any other race of people, right? So it would be
That's
more
correct.
beneficial for us to, of course, recycle within our community.
Yeah.
And more importantly, again, as we've touched so many times, create generational wealth. We're creating job opportunities, we're closing the racial gap, and we're also empowering the community. So, there's a saying that says, it takes a village to raise a child, right? And so when we support, we're providing Black pride, unity, and self determination. That's what Buy Black means to me.
Mm. Thank you.
Yep.
Wow. I'm
Yep.
I'm emotional because anytime I hear people speak
Yep.
on it, they get my vision. So
Yep.
thank you for that.
Yep.
Kenny, how about you, brother?
Bringing up our own, brother. Bringing up our own, and a lot of the time I see, the Jewish community, and I look at them and I say, man, they have their own things. Like they have their own schools, they have their own police department, they have their own, like they buy into their own, right? And they buy these buildings, and then they accommodate their own, and it's truly a community, right?
Mhm.
And that's the type of thing that I envision for our own. It's building within our community, right? It's doing it together instead of separate, because there's this notion in society that we have to be separate. We always have to be in competition. And I remember a couple of years ago, when I was still in college, they used to say the job market is out there, is competitive. You're gonna have to, your application is gonna have to look better than some other people. And you're a college graduate, like the chances that you get a job immediately are slim to none, and things like that,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
it's like, well, damn, and I'm Black, like, like, when does it stop, man? When does it
Yeah,
stop? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
and a big proponent of that, that's where the birth of my business was born. It's
yeah,
that, I don't want to work for like, if I leave my job right now, I don't want to work for somebody else.
yes,
you
Yes.
know I
Yes.
want to create my own leeway, so that when I go to that job interview for, that pays me, six figures, seven figures, I tell them, hey, listen, I'm my own boss. I don't need you. I don't need any of this stuff, right? I created wealth for myself,
yes,
Yeah.
and I created wealth for my community because they needed it,
right,
and that's what buying black means to me. Empowering yourself, empowering
Yes.
others within your own community, right?
yes,
And bringing them up and leveling
Yes.
them up, right, to the
Yes.
level of where they can change things, where they can
yes,
affect change. And yeah, that's what buying black means for me.
Yes.
man.
Yes.
Listen, this this conversation was absolutely powerful, absolutely amazing. And I have all of your information for both of you
Yes.
in the chat. And it's my hope that our people will
Mm-hmm.
heed the advice of, as much as you think you could do it on your own, you can't,
Yep.
Okay.
right? Um, I, as an investment professional, yes, I still hire somebody to do mine
Hmm.
for me because I, in my mind, um, I'm not going to do it in a way that they would see it
Right.
necessary,
Right.
Exactly. You
right?
might
Right.
see it
Just like,
differently,
right,
right? Yeah.
you wouldn't hire yourself as a lawyer, but
Right.
Exactly.
yeah, so,
Sure.
you know, even less, you're a business owner that does not know this. And
Yep.
because you don't know this, we have amazing professionals that look like you
Yep.
and are looking out for you and your business. So, by Black for Life family, I think Jacqueline Jackson, my brother Kenny O, Atlanta, Queens, New York are in the house.
Yes.
Um, Jacqueline, I'm going to start with you. Any last words on this particular topic? Freestyle however you would like, Queen. So, any last words that you would like to add?
I just thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to provide some financial literacy.
More to come.
And
More to come.
anyone who's out there listening, if you just take one thing away from this whole conversation, just make sure that you've got your business books in order. Just make sure that whatever you're doing in your profitable business, you just want to make sure that you're um, dotting your I's and crossing your T's and making sure that you're focusing on growing your business. And like I said, like we've said so many times, we can't do it all. And that's what we're here for. People that have your best interest and people who look like you, who are willing to help you ensure that your business is profitable and growing. And we just want to make sure that we all have some sort of financial literacy,
Amen.
which is so important.
Yes.
So important.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Kenny,
Yep.
any last words, bro?
Yes. I would like to say like this pandemic created an opportunity, you
Yeah.
know, and for all the bad things that came, out of it, with, over half a million people, losing their lives, to date. We can either come out of this for the better or for the worse, right? And so far it's going like, we're going to come out of this, for the better, right? So what the advice that I would have for, many people out there that, are, on the edge, maybe they want to create their own business, but they don't know what just go for it, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just go
Go
for it,
for it.
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, right, you're betting on yourself, right?
Yep.
There's no limit to the amount of businesses that you can actually open, right? And if people, and I don't want to bring him up, but if people like Donald Trump can go, bankrupt 7 times or 8 or 9 or 10 times or whatever the
Yes.
number is, right? You
Yes.
know, you have, absolutely nothing to lose with opening your own LLC, opening
Yes.
your own business. So go out
Yes.
there, open your own business, put in the work, because nobody said it was going to be easy,
Nobody.
right?
Nope.
Nobody.
Okay, be smart about it, invest in the professionals that know what they're doing, like Jackie and I.
Yep.
And this wasn't built in a day, right?
Right.
But if you're patient, if you put in the work, you'll get results you want.
Thank
Yes.
you.
And can I just
Go
add
ahead,
one more
please.
thing, right?
Please.
And I
Yes.
would
Absolutely.
say you've got to think get out of your comfort zone, take a
Yep.
leap of faith, and
Yep.
never have what if moments. You never want to live your life as what if I never.
No.
And like
Exactly.
Kenny said, right? It's not easy, but you can always start over and
Ye-
over again
Yes.
until you
yes.
Thank
get
you.
it right.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Love
Yep.
this.
Yeah.
Love this.
Yeah.
Love you both.
Love you too, bro.
Love our Buy Black for Life family. Financial literacy, it's something I've taught my entire career that I've been in financial services, and I do recognize it's not just my area of expertise with knowing investing and things of that sort. It's other aspects to it. And we're going to continue. This is not, financial literacy is not just for this month, it's forever. It's
Amen.
something
Yeah,
that we have to teach
absolutely.
forever.
Yes.
Yes.
Jacqueline and Kenny said they have young people who are watching what it is that they do and that they're teaching them what they do. That's why we have this amazing community that we have, because in order for us to reach the goal of closing the generational wealth gap, we have to do it with other generations in mind.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
that's the goal of Buy Black for Life. That's the goal of Jacqueline. And that's the goal of Kenny. So I thank you all. If you
Thank
are,
you.
again, watching
Thank you.
this on
Thank you.
replay, do hashtag replay. And I will say, for the love of our people, blessings, and Buy Black for Life.
Buy Black.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye, Black.
you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.